Here we are. It's a beautiful morning. Well, afternoon. It's 1:22 on October 22nd, 2020. And this is beautiful Pennsylvania in the fall. It's a beautiful morning. Ah, I think I'll go outside for a while. Just to smile and take in some clean, fresh air. Little creek down there. Old water well wheel. All right, well, now that I got the pleasantries out of the way, on to something that's a little more unpleasant. I'm just going to share with you something that happened to me when I attempted to get some glasses at the eye doctor 2 times. Okay? The first time, I made an appointment at a chain optometrist called My Eye Doctor. I'd never been there before. And I went, I'm trying to get the light right. It looks so dark. I went, okay, long story short, here's what happened. I went, it took me a long time to get the appointment. I went, I saw this doctor, Dr. Sylvester, who was absolutely despicable, okay? I told him about how I had been seeing lights in my eyes. Because I do. I've been seeing lights in my eyes. The first time it happened was back in it was a long time ago. It could have been 2011, 2012. But it was very faint. I started seeing, that was the first time I ever saw, it was like a green light, and it would go swim up and down my peripheral vision. Now, it didn't happen very often, but it happened. And it was very strange, and I didn't understand what was going on, but it was very faint. Since then, I've come to understand that it's nanotechnology. It's back then was the first time, back in 2011, 2012, was when myself and pretty much everyone in San Francisco was exposed to Morgellons. Everybody was in denial about its existence, and they would say it was just some psychosis that meth heads had and a delusion of crazy people. But the truth is, it's real. It's got its own smell. It comes out. You can smell you pay attention to your poop. This is very important. This is something that people don't talk about, but that's how I first noticed that something was going on with me, that something was different, was I noticed that my poop did not smell the same that it usually did my whole entire life. It suddenly had this unusual smell, and it's kind of never gone away, but it's in different, it fluctuates in different degrees of potency. It's the parasites. It's the Morgellons and the other parasites, the biotech parasites, okay? I know this is gross, but pay attention to your poop. It's something no one's talking about, and it'll tell you everything about what's going on with your body, okay? So on to what happened. Later, I just want to say that later on, years later, now here we are in 2020, from 2018, 2019, 2020, the light that I see in my peripheral vision is really bright now. It's like a enhanced, advanced, new generation of these parasites that have been updated, and now they're really strong. Now I see it several times a day, and what it's doing is it's sending and transmitting data about me, my personal body, my brain, everything, to some remote surreptitious source. And it's a total violation of I don't even have words. I don't have autonomy over my own body anymore. They have invaded my body with their intel. They have put their intel inside my body. This is beyond invasion of privacy. This is beyond the invasion of surveillance cameras everywhere outside of ourselves when they start putting it in your body. I'm just going to go back to the first time that something odd and suspicious happened to me at the eye doctor. It happened to me in San Francisco. Let me start back there and tell you the whole story. Okay, it was back in 2014, I believe. I went to this eye doctor. They were having free eye appointments for people who were low income. So I qualified to go and get glasses from this eye doctor, okay, for free. Beware of free stuff, okay? And on another subject, these free tacos they're giving away that I saw on the trending timeline from them winning the World Series, whatever, don't go for it, okay? That's another story, but just trust me, okay? I know about the meat and the Taco Bell stuff, okay? Don't go for it. The subterfuge is huge, okay? Free tacos, think it's a celebration, okay? It's the opposite of emancipation is what it is. Okay, talk about the Morgellons parasites and stuff, okay? Beware. So anyway, I went to this free eye doctor. Now, I've been going to the eye doctor since I was a little kid, since I was like 5 years old. So I know what happens at an eye doctor. They get to the point where they're doing the glaucoma test, okay? And they usually tell you every step of the way what's going to happen, what's going on. They say, you know, oh, now we're going to do this, now we're going to do that. With the glaucoma test, they get the little device and they shoot air in your eyes, okay, and test for the pressure. When it came to that part of the appointment, this doctor, before I even knew what was going on, he had the device and went in both of my eyes without telling me he was going to do it, like a robot, like he did it perfect, so quick, I didn't even see it coming. After he did that, I felt something enter my eye, okay? Especially this one, but it was both, okay? This one was really bad. For 3 days after the appointment, I felt like I had something in my eye, like when you get an eyelash or something's in your eye, and I rinsed it, I would put the top eyelid over the bottom, everything. I couldn't get it away to stop. And then it finally must have acclimated to my eye and it finally went away. It wasn't until later that I realized he shot a camera into my eyeball with the glaucoma test, okay, at the free eye exam. And I just knew when I walked out of that appointment that he had done something to me, that he had done something to my eye. And I just remember coming out and looking in the waiting room, and there were all these people with their kids, families in the waiting room, waiting to be seen by this guy. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to do this to all of those people too. And a lot of them were Hispanic because this was in the Mission District of San Francisco. So I was like, wow, they're putting cameras in everybody's eyeballs in the Hispanic community, from kids to elderly people. Okay, so fast forward to what happened to me last month, about September 14th, 2020. I go to this eye doctor in Pennsylvania to get some glasses. And at this point, I've been seeing the lights all the time. In fact, when I was driving along, okay, driving on the road, when all of a sudden, a grid pattern of tiny little bright white lights took over my entire field of vision, okay? I don't know. It was the nanotech. And I couldn't see. I was completely blinded for just a moment. And then suddenly they just swam up and disappeared. It was the strangest thing ever. And they did it to me when I was driving. Okay? They can do this to you whenever they want to. Okay? And it was almost like they were testing to see if it would work. And it did. Testing 1, 2, I couldn't see. I could have gotten in an accident. These people don't care about public safety. They don't care about you just as much as they don't care about me. Because I could have gotten in an accident, and God willing, I didn't, okay? So I go to the eye doctor, and I tell this despicable Dr. Sylvester about what happened. I tell him, look, I don't know if you can't tell your eye doctor, who can you tell? So I already knew that he wasn't going to help me, because I've tried to get help like this before. But this is what happened. I told him about how that happened to me. I saw the little tiny grid pattern of lights take over my field of vision when I was driving, and how I see the light in my peripheral several times a day. And every time I see that light, I get zapped. Like that. It's like it sends data and I get zapped with electromagnetic frequencies. That's another thing too that happens. And it gives away your location to somebody. I don't know. Okay, so he started having a full-on panic attack. this doctor, he started to breathe heavy. He got up, he stormed out of the room. He comes back. He said, I can't give you any glasses. I can't give you. He said, you have to leave right now. And I said, what do you mean I have to leave right now? He's like, go, you have to go right now. And I said, what? I mean, the eye appointment, I didn't do anything. He said, he threatened to call the police. He said, I'm going to call the police. He got out his phone and everything. At that point, I knew it was utterly ridiculous. So I just kept sitting there, okay? He storms out. And then he comes back in. He sits down. I said, listen, breathe. And he did. He breathed. And it was crazy because I'm usually the one who's frazzled and has to be told to breathe. He said, look, I don't normally go back on he finally calmed down and gathered himself. He said, I don't usually go back on my word. And he said, I'll write the prescription for your glasses. He said, but I can't give you any contacts or anything. I was like, okay, fine, So freaked out over it. Long story short, I bought these really nice Michael Kors glasses. Really nice. When I got them, there was something wonky about the front lenses. When I put them on, it would give me an extreme headache. And it wasn't the usual headache you get when you put on new glasses. It was like something suspicious. It seemed to magnify electromagnetic frequencies. And my eyeballs themselves felt like they were like being affected in an adverse way. It was not just my head, but my actual eyeballs were like, we get this weird feeling. Then I'd take them off and it would stop. I said, and then right around the edges were like blurry. I don't know what was going on with that, but I actually returned the glasses. I returned the glasses and I took like a over $200 loss because, you have to pay for the lenses. You can't return those because they're custom. So that happened. Okay. Never go back. I'll never go back to my eye doctor again. So anyway, what happened was next I made an appointment at Walmart about 2 weeks later to get glasses again because it didn't work out at the other place. And check this out. I go to Walmart. They have it all roped up for the coronavirus. And they have this little podium and you have to go up there and you have to take this survey about if you're having coronavirus symptoms, and then they take your temperature before you can be seen at the appointment. Okay. She takes my temperature. We go through the survey. Everything's fine. The lady's not pleasant. She's short, stout, mean, angry, hostile, very unfriendly. I tried to do a little banter with her. She wasn't having it. She had like 2 masks on, 3 pairs of glasses. I said, wow, it's like working in a hospital nowadays, isn't it? She wasn't for the chit chat. She takes my temperature. I don't like getting zapped anyway, but she had to, okay, policy. It reads 102.5. I said, that's wrong. Take it again. She takes it again. It's 102.5. I said, listen, I am not sick. I am not having any symptoms. I said 100 temperature puts me in the bed. I said 102.5, I'd be on the floor. I said, this is not right. I said, you're going to have to get another thermometer. This other lady comes over, equally as unpleasant, with a different thermometer. She takes my temperature. It's like 102.3. I said, what is going on here? I said, this is impossible. I said, I do not have an 102-something temperature. I said, take it again. Takes it, it's 102.5. I said, listen, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go into the store. I'm going to buy a brand new thermometer. I'm going to come back here and I'm going to take my temperature in front of you and show you that I do not have a temperature that high. And they were like, they didn't know what to say at first. They were just kind of like, and then she was like, no, we have to use these. And besides, they're out of stock in the store right now. This big Walmart supercenter. Yeah, they're out of stock. How would you know that? So anyway, I said, okay, well, here's what I'll do. If I have a temperature that high and I'm not having any symptoms, I have to be seen at the doctor. I said, I'm going to take a picture of the reading so I have it to bring to my doctor and show him I'm there. They're like, no, you can't take a picture. I'm like, why not? I said, it's my temperature. I said, I should be able to take a picture of it. She's like, well, I'm going to have to text the manager and find out if that's okay. So she does. He finally gets back and says it's okay. I go to take the temperature and the one lady's like turned like this. So trying to hide the screen from me. And I see a temperature come out and it said like 96.4. I said, whoa. I said, that's my temperature because I usually run low like that. I'm like, that's my temperature. She's like, oh, well then here, take a picture of it. I'm like, oh, well now that it's my temperature, you're going to, yeah, I can take a picture of it now. I said, what happened to the 102.5? So anyway, in the meantime, the other lady's taking the batteries out of the other thermometer. And she's like, okay, I'm going to have to take your temperature again to verify that it's 96.4. She takes it and it's 100.1. You can't be seen if your temperature's above 100 and over. So it's just high enough that I can't be seen. I'm like, how is that possible that it goes from 102.5 to 100 in 3 minutes? She's like, I don't know. It must have just gone down. She's like, you want to reschedule? And I was like, no. And I was just like completely flabbergasted. I was like, I can't believe that this is what they're going to start doing. They're going to deny goods and services to people by faking temperatures on these freaking devices and just say, oh, no, you don't pass. So it didn't work out there either. So just remember the subterfuge is huge in Walmart Vision Center.